Hey guys, I thought I'd come casually hang out with you tonight. I had this whole thing I was going to prepare on loving men and triggers, but I felt like I wanted to be a little bit more casual and rocking up with no makeup and just my natural self, which I used to actually not do live streams unless I was ready, unless I'd prepared, unless I'd had makeup on and had notes and all this kind of stuff. And then what I discovered was that, hey Jazz, I thought I'd say hi to some people tonight, because usually I'm like, stay focused EJ, you have a point to make, even though it takes me a long time to get there sometimes. I thought I'd come hang with you guys and say hi, and you know, if you've got any questions for me, I will kind of put in some of this loving men stuff throughout this live stream, but I just wanted to drop in and engage with you guys as well. But I will still give you guys some juicy stuff in here that's been coming through me the last couple of days to share. Hey Mandy, hey Mark, hey Andre. Yeah, say hi when you jump on. Please say hi. I'd love to hear from you. I just thought I'd jump on pretty casually tonight. And so, got my hair done today. It's still a little bit pink, but it's actually short. So I'm not going to show you guys that today, but I had my extensions taken out. So yeah. So I wanted to speak to a couple of things, and I'm excited because I'm co-facilitating at an event this weekend, the Sacred Pathway to Loving Men. And about a couple of weeks ago, I spoke at an event, Enlightenment in the Bedroom, and I spoke about loving men. And one of the women there spoke up and said, how do I love men when I've been so hurt by men in the past? And the energy on it was, well, men should be learning how to love us. And when I heard this, I just really got it, because I've been there, right? And I really, what's the oh my God about? Is it because it's so bright? Because I'm so bright, I have the light on. Like the diva light. And I really got it, I really got it. And because I feel like sometimes, when you do work on yourself, and you do a lot of work on yourself around particular things, and you shift so much that you kind of forget what it was like before you did the work. You kind of forget, who gets that feeling when you know that you've kind of journeyed so far now that you sometimes forget, and you become in a bit of a bubble, where some things are not maybe people can't connect to, because they're not there yet, right? Because they're still working through their stuff in different areas of their life. And I just realized that, if the concept of loving men might trigger a lot of women. And I was like, I've never thought about it. I had not thought about it. I mean, I kind of had, but until it was someone really mentioned it, I just yeah, actually, about, a few years ago, if someone offered to do a workshop and invited me to a workshop on the art of loving men, I would have felt like, well, why are the men not learning to love me? Why are the men not learning to love us, to love women? I've been treated so badly and I've been so hurt. Well, they should be learning. That's how I would have felt. I would have felt they should, I should be learning. That they should be learning how to love us as well. Which, by the way, is something that I teach men as well. I do have worked with men around healing their stuff around women and learning to love women. Because, we both go through this stuff. It goes both ways, right? And so it kind of took me back to that moment where I was really realizing that it might actually be quite difficult for a lot of people to think about that, because there's still pain, there's still wounds, there's still trauma, there's still resentments in the space that haven't been healed yet. And this is one of the things that firstly my book goes through in depth. There's a big process around that. And secondly, at my Loving Men workshops, I do address this, and we go through a process to heal some of the resentments that are in the space, because it's going to be very difficult to bring men into the space and do this worship ritual if there's shit in the way. And so we work through that stuff, and that's the thing. This is why I think it's really important that we have to work through our shit to be like what's in the way. Basically, we have to work with what's in the way and looking at, well, what's in the way of me loving myself, my own inner masculine, my own inner feminine. What's in the way of me loving someone else, loving men, of loving women? What's in the way? What are the stories that are in the way? What are the past perceptions? What are the past wounds? What are the traumas? What are the misconceptions? What are the things that are in the way of bringing love into that, of being able to see each other through the eyes of love? If we let go all the stories and the judgment in the past and the projections, what can be possible then? What can be possible if we could see each other through the eyes of love? And so this is what it's about. It's about, this is a big chunk of my work, is about clearing what's in the way. And sometimes we don't even know what's in the way until we start diving into it. We don't even know, like, stuff that, it's like you don't know what you don't know, right? Sometimes you just don't know what you don't know. And I say this a lot, is that, and a lot of my clients will know that I have a way of bringing the unseen to be seen, where I work through people's blocks and blind spots to bring up into the space the things they don't know that they don't know about themselves, that they need to remember, and diving into those. So, and that's some of the stuff that comes up in the workshops as well. A lot of the things is that you're discovering things that you just don't know that you don't know. Maybe that's what I should have called this live stream. So let me know if you know what I'm talking about. If you know that the thing about not knowing what you don't know, right? Because there's this thing, you know what you know, and you know what you don't know, but sometimes you don't know what you don't know, right? Until you know it, and then you know that you didn't know it. Until you know it. Hope that makes sense. It makes sense to me anyway. So this is a big thing. It's like, really, if there's anything in the way, if things trigger you, this is a sign to do the work. This is the sign to explore. Yeah, Ariel knows. Who else knows? To really explore. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Sarah. You guys are, and everyone else I haven't said hi to. Phoebe. I'm actually saying hi to people today. I don't usually, because I get distracted, but I wanted to make this a super casual live stream. Hey, hey, Angela, Scott, Brandon, Tara. If I missed you guys, I'm sorry. Hi, everyone. I love you all. And so it's like really looking about what is in the way. And one of the things, I was talking to a woman tonight on a call, and I was speaking about women working with men, like women working intimately with men, holding space for men. There was a time when I was doing this, and I had so much shit around men that I had to clear. And so, of course, if I'm going to do this work, I called someone in that would help me see all that, right? And so that's when I ended up in a very toxic wound-mate relationship. But this man helped me to see all the stuff that I was still holding around men. And I thought I loved men. Like, I really thought that I loved men. I would date a lot, and I would, be with lots of different men. And I was not like a man hater or like anything like that. And I just thought that, it was really interesting. Like, I thought I actually loved men. And then when I started going through this toxic relationship and I came out and I dived into it, I was like, oh my God, I have all the stuff around men. And what it was not so much serious, not so much that I hated men. It was more that it was just, there was resentment that I didn't know that I had. And there was feeling victimized by men, even though I thought I was empowered, even though I was like, yeah, I'm so strong and empowered, but really I was actually protecting my heart, my strong was a wall over my heart, and that led to emasculating men because I didn't feel safe, because I'd felt taken advantage of in the past. And it's really interesting, and I teach a lot in this book about the victim, is that I thought I was empowered, and I wasn't one of those victim-y people, because, you know, those victim-y people, like, I don't want to be with all those people that just, it's all about them and their shit and blah, blah, blah. Actually, I had these judgments on the victim, but what was really going on was that I was actually suppressing my experience of being the victim and avoiding feeling what it felt like to be the victim. This is a big process that I talk or share in my book about actually consciously accessing the victim as a pathway to healing. I call it consciously losing your shit, basically, and really accessing that part of you that has been victimized, and then empowering yourself, not another way around, not like going through the victim experience and then bypassing it with like empowerment protection strategies, which is what a lot of people do, like most of us do, which is because we've made the victim wrong and bad in society. So people don't want to be like the victim unless they have taken on this role as a child to get love and approval, basically. And so in society, it's seen as weak to be the victim. So this is why most people, basically what happens is they'll go through an experience, and that a painful experience where will have been a victim of that experience, or felt victimized, and instead of and then they'll go into numbing that in some form, putting up a wall, like adding to this wall of protection so they can't, to avoid being hurt again, and then actually calling that empowerment, basically. So, and being like, yeah, I'm so empowered, but actually you're completely protecting yourself. And, you know, it's like, oh, you know, like I'm so strong and I've been through so much, and like I'm just this strong, independent person. And, you know, you'll see people like, oh, you've been through so much, you're so strong. And actually they're actually just bypassing. And so this is why one of the processes that I do, and I'll give you guys this as a thing to take away with you, and I'm going to give you this to take away with you. This is kind of what this is in my book, and this is what I teach a lot of my clients, and this is also what I do at my workshops as well, is basically to consciously access the victim by going in really, 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 really going into, and I've done this with like exes of like my first partner was like 15 years ago or whatever, that we were together. Oh gosh, I feel old. A bit longer than that actually. We were together and I never healed from that relationship. Like I'd never done any healing. After that relationship, I went straight into party mode and sleeping around and numbing my emotions. And for 10 years, I lived this life of numbing myself, thinking I was empowered, of course. And I'm so like, oh yeah, like I use men and I have so much control and power over men, when really I was emasculating them because I didn't actually feel safe. Yeah. And then really I was feeling like rejected and abandoned them most of the time, but numbing it with stuff. Yeah, so anyway, basically I've gone into healing something that happened years ago that I never healed at the time, because I went straight into bypassing the emotions and into numbing myself. So yeah, let me know if you relate. So basically, this is what I call consciously losing your shit. So you're not actually like going to stay in the victimization. You're not going to stay there. You're not going to stay in the poor me and look at all the shit that happened to me and why does this shit always happen and you're an asshole, you're a bitch and they did this to me. You're not going to stay in that, but you are going to go there, right? So what I get people to do is I get them to write out all the things that this person did to them, all the ways that they hurt them, their biggest complaints, their biggest frustrations, their biggest resentments. And what I want them to do is to just go for it. Like be as like mean and horrible and awful about that experience, about everything you wanted to say. You're a fucking asshole. I can't believe you did this to me. You liar. Like, anything that wants to come out, like I wish you could say, and all the things you wish you could tell that person, And you want to really get into how it felt at the time for you, because probably now, you know, if it's not present in your reality now, you might be like, well, I don't really feel that way now because, you know, I know it was because your mind will be like, well, I know this happened because of this, and then I got this out of it and this lesson, and really they're just a mirror. No, don't want to go to that part yet, because that's part of the bypassing if you haven't processed what happened, the feelings of what happened at that time. That's where most people, especially, you know, you do a lot of mindset work, and most people will go to try and understand the experience, which is a way of trying to create safety, and the brain's trying to make this safe and not feel the emotions, because that's fucking scary. It's like you have to actually access them, right? So consciously losing your shit. I'm giving away like so many of my subtitles from my book right now. And so going into the victimization and like really feeling the feels, really feeling anger, frustration, rage, getting into your wild man or your wild woman, making it look messy, ugly, disgusting, raw, vulnerable, crazy. Like if you think that someone would look at you and think you're a crazy fucking person, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go crazy. Now what I recommend is you do it on your bed with a pillow, so you can punch your pillows, you can jump up and down, you can shake your body, you can throw a temper tantrum, you can just go crazy like and let yourself go wild, right? Now for a lot of people this can be really scary, because sometimes we haven't accessed this part of us because we're conditioned that this part of us is not proper. Losing our shit is like wrong or bad, or like you're like crazy basically. And it's like I don't want to go with that. Basically, I want to give you full permission to completely lose your shit. Like, that's one of our fears as humans, is that people find out we're inherently fucked up. If people find out that we don't have our shit together, and people really see that, then what will they think of us? But really, like, do any of us really have our shit together? Do any of us really really have it all together? No, right? We're all human beings that have a brain. Oops. I've only got 10% left, guys, so I'm going to finish it before then. A brain that's wired for survival. And part of this means we get triggered sometimes. That part of our brain gets triggered all the time. I also have a process for managing triggers in my book. And then you get less triggered because you process them and manage them, and you stay more in the frontal lobe of your brain, which is more helping you to feel safe and be logical with your behavior. And you react less and are able to respond more consciously. So going into this consciously losing your shit. So this is the first piece. If you want to heal, like, this is the first piece. If you want to heal your relationship to women, or your relationship to men, or a relationship to a specific person, if you want to stop repeating the same pattern, you are going to keep attracting the stuff to show you the shit you need to feel that you haven't felt yet, that needs to be healed and brought into love. Basically, you need to go into this, and especially if you keep going into experiences where you keep getting hurt and being the victim, that shit's going to keep accessing until you own the victim. You've got to stop letting the victim own you, and you have to own it, right? And if you're bypassing it, you are not owning it. If you're bypassing it, you're avoiding it, right? So you've got to take that victim, and if you're avoiding it, guess what? You're probably attracting people that play the victim to show you that you're avoiding it. Because what you resist persists. So you need to, that person, if you get people that play victims in your experience, this means that your victim is in you seeking to be owned and loved and brought through. So I give you full permission to completely lose your shit. I give you full permission to go crazy, messy, ugly, wild, raw. And I give you, full permission to go there, right? Full permission to go there and let out everything, right? And you go into this with an intention, right? You go into this with an intention to heal whatever's in the space. Whatever needs to be healing resentment, healing that relationship with that person. You go in with that intention. And a couple of pieces I need to speak to on this is that for a lot of people, there's a lot of trauma there, and it can send the body into a freeze. Okay, so if you experience this freeze where you can't actually access or you can't breathe, if you can't go there, if you're struggling, what you need to do is go into that freeze by squeezing the muscles in your body, holding your breath, and then releasing that. And this will start to open the body a bit more to be able to that, because some people, it's so scary to access this because there can be so much trauma there. The other piece is that it's helpful if this feels vulnerable to have someone there supporting you, right? Because a lot of the times we can actually be quite scared of the power that's there. It's like some people will be afraid to go there because if I go there, I don't know what's going to come out. Shit, I don't know, because there's some deep shit that's being suppressed. If I really go there, I have no idea if I can't control that shit. I don't know where it's going to go, what I'm going to do. I'm actually really scared of this power that I hold inside of me, right? So this is another piece that can stop us from really accessing that. So that's when having either a person there to support you through that, or someone like myself, someone that can facilitate this. And one of the things that is great about having someone to facilitate it is that who has experience in this area, is that they can, like, I can see things and ask questions that will provoke certain things, but also can facilitate if like a freeze does come up, or a flight wanting to run away comes up, then being with there and helping the person move through it as well. So you'll generally be able to kind of get a feel of where you're at. A lot of people can access it a bit more easily, but my recommendation is to start with 5 minutes a day playing a song. I've got a great playlist. I'll get my PA Ariel, amazing woman she is, to link it up. Actually, I think she has it. We'll put it on this video. And you take that, and if you just spend 5 minutes a day for the next 2 weeks going into this, even if you just start with shaking your body. If you can't punch pillows, if you can't jump and down, if you can't scream, if you can't do all that yet, if it's too much, just start with like just shaking the body, right? Right, so, and what you're going to start to do in this consciously, I don't know how much battery I have. Oh, I don't know, not much. Okay, if it ends, guys, well, I'll come back and do it again at some point. So basically, what you're going to start to do with this is you start to reset the nervous system and heal the cellular memory. So the cellular memory in your body carries your traumas and your wounds, and it has a memory of them in your body, and they're held in there. So this is why you have to move them out of your body, right? You have to move them out. So things like, mindset work and coaching is, in my opinion, is not enough because you're not working with the body, right? And I teach mindset, and I work with I have a lot of clients that are mindset coaches that come to me because they need to start moving stuff out of the body. So the somatic work is really, really important. And so you're moving and shifting that through the emotional body and getting it out. So this is the first piece. So basically what I teach to heal anything is consciously accessing the victim of your experience. What we as humans tend to do when something happens to us, either we stay in our story in our minds and we replay it over and over and over and over, and we integrate it more and more and more and more, and then we keep creating it, and it keeps showing up, and it keeps showing up, and it keeps showing up, and like, why the fuck does this shit always happen to me no matter what I do, right? Because you wired yourself that way, right? Or the other piece is that what happens is that you instantly go to try to understand it. Why does this happen to me? How did I attract it? What can I do differently next time? And this is more like someone that's more self-aware. The brain will instantly want to try and understand why this has happened. But you've missed the piece, right? There's a piece missing. This is what I used to do. I'm like, oh, let me sit back and observe why all this happened, how I attracted it. And I used to go into my being responsible. But guess what happened? I kept playing my over responsibility, and that was me keeping myself safe. Trying to keep myself safe is be like, well, if I can understand it and justify it and be responsible for it and see my part in it, which is actually what I teach after going into consciously accessing the victim, right? So that's a big piece. And then I'd be like, why? I understand it in my mind. I know why I'm attracting it. But why does it keep happening? That's what I'd be like, why does this? I'm like, but I thought I'd shifted this, but no, I had not shifted it out of the body and given my permission to feel what the rage and the anger and all that stuff that was really there, that was sitting underneath all the stories in my head. And the other thing that we can do is put a giant fuck off wall up to avoid these things happening and go into avoidance and lack of vulnerability and it's like what I notice with a lot of women that I work with is two things generally happen is that are happening. Either they keep repeating the same pattern when it comes to their relationships. They'll keep repeating it over and over and over and not understand why they're attracting it. Or B, they'll have put a massive wall up, and you can also have both, and essentially are not even making themselves available to receive love because it doesn't feel safe. And somewhere they've made it not safe to receive love because they've associated love with pain or hurt or abuse. And in their mind, actually love has become associated with that. And so we have to rewire, we have to heal those wounds, bring down the wall and shift the stories and change the meaning of love so that when they will feel safe to invite love in and receive love, which of course a big part of that is self-love, first of all. So that's the two things I see mainly happening. And these women commonly appear as very empowered women. But they especially, a lot of business women, entrepreneurs, even women, who are quite spiritual, are often spiritual bypassing, they do yoga, they do meditation, and they do read oracle cards, and I love all this stuff, right? Like, I love this stuff. But I was doing all that stuff, and I attracted like a narcissist and didn't understand why the hell. It's because I was spiritually bypassing all my deep stuff, all my deep shit that I really needed to look at, right? And it was interesting because he kept playing the victim and I kept trying to rescue him because ultimately I was actually suppressing my own victim and wasn't owning all like the past abuse I'd experienced, and I hadn't gone into really feeling the pain of that. So as soon as I went into feeling like that, that's when I had to go and heal the relationship with my ex-husband. When I was quite young, I was married at 17, and I had to go and heal the abuse that I experienced there that I'd just completely numbed. So yeah, so I feel like I really got off topic, but like we got to the first piece of loving men. This is like step one. This is step one. And the thing, how this connects into the inner masculine is that when you start to heal this, you start to heal the relationship with the inner masculine, because the reason why an inner masculine is so like immature, and what I mean by immature, this is like when the masculine for a woman just takes over and drives everything and is like work, goals, got to get shit done, like consistently. This is coming from a lack of safety, right? This is coming from that space of I don't feel safe in the world and I need to do what's of value, so I'm safe. And so the focus becomes more on that. So when you start to heal the stuff, you start to feel more safe, which then when you start to feel safe, your feminine is like, oh wow, it's safe for me to be vulnerable now. My walls are coming down. It's safe for me to be fully in my self-expression. It's safe for me to be in my sensuality. It's safe for me to be seen in my radiance. And I don't have to keep proving myself through my success or my intelligence or and trying to get needs met through that way, right? So it's about creating safety. So when you heal your relationship, your past relationships, particularly with men, but this is also with women as well, is that you're going to allow yourself to be more vulnerable, and your inner masculine, it will be evolving to hold yourself through it. That he's the one there that is like, when you go into this conscious accessing your victim, you're calling on him to go, hey, I'm here and I've got you and I'm supporting you and I'm going to hug you and I'm going to hold you and I'm going to help you ask for what you need and ask for what you want and ask for support. You know, it's your healthy masculine that will be like, okay, we need to ask for some help and support here because this is bigger than me. This is bigger than us. We need help, right? So if you're out there watching this and you're resonating, let me know. Yeah, so I hope it resonates. And for the men watching this, I want to let you know too, like this goes in reverse, right? If you want to heal your